Should you sell your home when the prices are high or when they're low?
Right.
You're probably thinking this is a no-brainer, correct? Would you say that's probably a no-brainer? Of course you want to sell when the market's high. You know, especially with all these insane prices. But how do you know when to make the best decision before you miss the peak price?
That's right. I mean, cashing out at the peak is all about timing, whether it's real estate, the stock market, everything, it's about timing. And knowing the right time is the tough part.
Right.
And, you know, you might be putting it off thinking maybe, let's see if it goes a little higher, it goes a little higher.
Right.
We've got a few things that might make you realize that we are reaching the peak, nearing the peak. There's some certain things that are going to be changing that could change the inventory and the prices of the market.
Right, and there's three things we're going to talk about, right? Three concerns or something like that. One, you're putting it off. You're thinking, hey, the price is going to keep inching higher and higher. You know, you got to ask yourself that. When do you think the peak's going to hit? You know, that's the hard part. The problem is by the time you, the problem is by the time you're quandering, you're thinking about it, boom, 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 the market's going lower and lower.
Oh, that's right. You find out.
And you missed the top.
Yeah, you knew.
You missed that top.
You learn where the peak was after the point, and that doesn't do anybody any good, right?
Right.
And also, you may be thinking, okay, I'd like to sell, but it's a lot of work getting your house ready to sell, right? I mean, there's a lot that needs to be done to get your house market ready and make it pristine and clean, and repairs. There's painting, there's flooring, there could be repairs, there could be... The big one is decluttering. If you've been in your house for any length of time...
Don't talk about decluttering.
Everybody's always surprised how much stuff they have. I can't tell you how many houses we've been into, and us included when we moved. You don't realize how much stuff you have till comes time to move and get it ready for pictures and ready for people to come through and everything. And that's why sometimes it's nice if you could just have a cash buyer, cash out, and not have to go through all that. And that's something that we can really help you with. Is cashing out is about timing and having a cash buyer. We have investors that are just chomping at the bit. They're ready to go and cash people out and get them out of their homes if they want. Right.
And here's the biggest concern of all. Where the heck are you going to go? Where the heck are we going to go? You know, that's the hard thing. Where am I going to find my next home? And that's the thing. You know, we talk about this, you know, and not overpaying for it. Because right now, everything's in sudden multi-offers, way over. You got to have cash on hand with appraisals and everything else. So what do you want to say there? You know, you don't want to buy and sell at the same time. You don't want to list your house before you find your house. So that's really what we're going to talk to you. And, you know, getting all that equity into your hands, that's the biggest thing, right?
Right. And I mean, I think it is scary not knowing. I think that's probably one of the biggest stress factors right now for people buying who are also selling is finding a home.
Right.
And that is really stressful. So, I mean, so let's kind of tackle these concerns and kind of help them make sense, I guess, right?
Right.
So the first concern is, are we nearing the peak? And how do you know, and what kind of factors are there that can tell us that, hey, this could be, there could be a change coming on. Nobody's expecting anything to go crashing or anything like that, but it's nice to know that maybe prices will level off, maybe not all those overbid situations, you know. More inventory means more choices for buyers and less overbids and things like that, right?
So there's three things that we, you know, under that, like you said, some of the things that, you know, kind of really tightened the market off was the foreclosures, forbearance. The foreclosure moratoriums are being lifted. The dogs are so excited, they're telling their friends about this, instant cash offer and stuff. So the forbearance, foreclosure moratoriums are being lifted. Eviction moratoriums, those are being lifted. So people can now sell their home. You know, they can evict people, right?
Yeah, these poor investors, we've got so many of them where they're stuck. They've got tenants under a lease living in these properties not paying, and it's killing them. And some of them would like to sell, but
they can't.
Nobody wants to buy a property that has a tenant in it that's not paying.
Right.
Because there goes all your profit, right?
Right. And some of the, this week, the multifamily moratorium for investors got extended to 9/30.
For foreclosure.
For foreclosure,
But not the eviction moratorium.
Not the eviction, but the multifamily people investors that own, you know, multifamily homes. But plan ahead. That's only 3 months away. Plan ahead to be ahead of the game here, right?
And another factor that can lead to more inventory. We hadn't really thought about it, and we were talking about it about a month ago, and it's people that have maybe wanted to move into an assisted living facility, you know, the nice condos where you have a little more care, or even to a nursing home. But everything was shut down. They weren't taking people into the nursing homes and everything. So a lot of that, that market was left open. People couldn't move.
Right.
So now people can start moving and doing that. So we're finding a lot more of that inventory coming on. right?
Right, and then
that's just 3 examples
right,
of why there's going to be more inventory.
Right, and so here's another thing. Interest rates are going up. The Fed's going to raise rates, okay? They're going to raise rates. Think about every 1/10 of a point that it's raised lowers your buying power tremendously, right?
Oh,
I mean, tremendously
you'd
lowers
be
your buying
surprised how
power.
much 1/10 of a point, especially if you're on a tight budget, tight margins on your loan.
Right.
1/10 of a point, that interest rate going up could throw everything off.
So somebody we have buyers right now this week. They have qualified for 400 or 500 or 600,000. In 6 months to a year from now, that's going to be down 30 to 70,000 or more. Just those little tenths, every tenth that the Fed raises.
That's right. You're losing your buying power. Yeah.
So all these factors with foreclosure moratoriums be lifted, eviction moratorium be lifted, the nursing homes opening up for people to come into, and interest rates going up, it's going to lower the buyers.
So it really shows that's why
it's going to soften the market.
We're starting to think, and experts all around the country starting to things are going to change.
Right.
Prices are going to start to level off a little bit.
Right.
And then another factor, another concern to consider is, we know maybe you want to sell, but getting the house ready.
Right.
And that's where our cash offer comes in great,
right.
because you have to get your house ready to sell. You want it to look good. You want it to look great. You want it clean and decluttered. There, you could be maybe moving up. You want a bigger home because a lot of people are working from home now, and they want an office, or they want a Zoom room where the kids can do school. They want to keep the kids home from school. Or maybe you're an empty nester now. You're finally ready to maybe move to something smaller, into one of those 55 and over communities or something like that. But it is a lot of work to get that done.
Right.
And
God, the house looking pristine, all that stuff, and I get nauseous. I'm getting nauseous when we talk about repairs and decluttering, because I'm a clutterer and not a repair guy, so that's like my worst nightmare. But
and like you said, if you've been in your house any length of time, you're going to have a lot more stuff than you think, and that can put off people. They can put off selling for years because they just don't want to get the house ready, right?
So how do you sell your home with no repairs? Instant cash offer.
That's
SellMyNorthernNevadaHome.com. SellMyNorthernNevadaHome.com. The link's in there. Click on it. Give you great information. Our investors want to purchase your house full market value.
That's right.
No repairs. Nothing. No repairs.
Don't make your bed. Don't do anything.
And you get to stay in the home until you find your next home. And it's all timing. You can do it on your terms. That's the great thing. Full price, full market value, no repairs, stay in the home, and we do it on your timing. I mean, how can you beat that? Instant cash offer. SellMyNorthernNevadaHome.com.
And as you can imagine, in order to compete in this market, let's say you find a house on the MLS, you'd like it, if there's multiple offers, you cannot win in a multiple offer situation if you have to have your house sold in order to qualify. That meaning your house is contingent on the purchase of the next home, your selling of your home.
Right.
So it doesn't happen. If you've got 4, 5, 10 offers that a seller is looking at and yours is in there, but it's contingent on your home selling, you can't win.
Yeah.
So you need to have the money in the bank before,
right.
which makes it very tricky, because you also, to sell, you need a place to go. So that's where the cash offer comes in great, because you can have the money, it's in your bank, makes you competitive to go out and find another home, and you can stay in your home.
Yeah. So Amy just well put all that. To get the seller to accept your home on a contingency, it ain't happening. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Bottom line, no way. So no stress. You're in the driver's seat. You have all the timing. You're in the driver's seat. The timing is when you want it. No repairs. How can you beat this? Cash offer.
But we know probably the biggest concern out of all of them is, I want to sell, I want to go, but where do I move? The one thing, we're never going to leave you homeless. We're going to make sure you always have a home, and that's where we have what's called the Just Look.
Amy, come on.
Okay.
So
Are we back on?
So the bottom line is, we're inside now because my phone overheated outside. The bottom line is, Amy's going to go over the biggest concern about moving.
The biggest concern is having a place to go.
Right.
And so that's where we have the Just Looking kind of / Dream Home Finder program, where we help you go out and find homes that are pre-listed. We have a bunch of sellers, homeowners that we've talked with that are interested in selling, maybe, but they don't want to go through the whole process.
Right.
If you come to them with a market offer, they're looking to maybe sell. You're looking to buy, maybe. And so we have a list of people we know are interested in selling, and then we also find out what you want in a home, neighborhood, all that, and we go out and find those homes. We find the homeowners that would be interested in selling. No obligation. No obligation for you. If we take you to a home, you don't like it, no big deal. We move on to the next. But we find people that are interested in selling.
Right.
And there we go. And so
I was doing this because we have a secret list. We have homes of off-market homes, right?
Yeah.
Off-market homes that people would like an offer. They want to see. You know, give us an offer.
They just don't want to list.
They don't want to
Bring me
list.
an offer,
and so we're not dealing. So these are homes that Amy and I nurtured and found. We have a list. And so we don't have multiple offers, right?
But you're the only person looking at the home because it's really, nobody knows that the seller or the homeowner's even interested in selling, right?
And again, you're in the driver's seat, people. You're with your home on the arm.
But the key to all of this is if you get the cash up front,
right.
It just gives you so much more comfort and, I guess, power in the market, right?
So again, the great thing is this all sounds very stressful, and I love what Amy says all the time. You know, gathering information takes away the stress and the fear. So this is what we do. We love what we do. Amy and I help buyers and sellers all over the world coming into Northern Nevada. Even like Amy said before, if they're moving to New York, Texas, or Florida, Mississippi, Arizona, wherever it is.
We work with agents all over the country.
Yeah, we'll find a home for you off market then. We work with some great
all over the country. We
that
find you off market,
know the same thing we're doing and finding off market homes. So they're not going into multiple offers. We have a buyer yesterday or Friday. Or yesterday is Friday, I don't know. But that was looking for a home, and we had the pre-qualification letter, and there was 33 cards on it. We know it's going to be crazy. So,
and she doesn't have necessarily the buying power to bid over, because you know if you bid over on a home, if let's say it's listed for $400,000, that's really what it's going to appraise for, but you need to put an offer in at $430,000, say.
Right.
If the appraisal doesn't come in at $430,000, and it comes in at $400,000, you need to come up with that extra $30,000 on top of all your other money, because the bank will only loan on the appraised value. And that's stressful because you need to have extra cash on hand, which isn't the case for a lot of buyers. So let's make you the only buyer, no competition, and cash in your bank account beforehand, and I mean, it's a win-win. So that's the no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer. And as we said earlier in the video about the peak, we want to sell high and buy low. Buy, you're not buying. We might be able to find under market, but full market, non-multiple offers. You want to sell high. That's the spread. You keep that equity, right? And so this is all free. You're gathering information. The instant cash offer. There's no obligation. There's no stress.
And no obligation for the cash offer or for us doing the just looking and show you some off-market homes. There's no obligation to you. So it's just easy.
Gather the information. Like this video. Maybe you're, like you said, Amy said, you're just looking. Share this with somebody. Share it that somebody might gather the information. Drop a comment in. As I talked, I get nauseous when we start talking about repairs. I got our son-in-law here now. He does all the repairs, thank God, because I can't do them. Amy's she's the one that takes care of anything like that. I'm the clutterer. Hey, and you may be like that, and maybe you missed a repairman, but you don't have to do any of that stuff. All timing. So drop a comment in. What's your worst repair that you're thinking about?
Or if you need a referral or something. Between all the people that we know and work with, we've got some great hookups to almost every service professional in the area, and we know some amazing lenders that are willing to just answer your questions about a loan or what that's going to look like, or even a refinance, what that could look like. You know, do your homework and figure out what's the best thing for you, but just know that from what the indicators are telling us, this market is reaching its peak, and if you want to get your money, now's the time. So we know some good garage guys, flooring, plumbers, electricians. Hey, we know some good bartenders too. So anyways, we love what we do. Drop a comment, put in your worst repair you want to deal with, or just put in your address. This is all between us. Put your address in, we'll get you that instant cash offer in 48 hours. Turn on notifications. We got some great videos. We got some great educational content, great videos around town. And the good thing, all the events are starting to happen. Reno Rodeo's coming up. We got all this fun stuff in Northern Nevada coming up. So, who are we? I'm going to get hit in the face with your hand. I know, I'm smacked. Whoa. Who are we? So, we are Amy and Billy Boylan. We're the Boylan team with eXp Realty, and we would love to talk to you and just answer your questions and help you in whatever way you need. Gather information. It's free. Boylan out. Have a blessed day. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.